Alright, so let's talk about the big news that dropped this Monday on the 22nd of April that Meta is taking its next big leap to become the XR computing platform for Android, competing alongside Google's upcoming XR platform. Meta will now rebrand its operating system to Meta Horizon OS. Meta will also usher in a new generation of hardware from companies like Asus's Republic of Gamers line and Lenovo, as well as creating a limited edition Meta Quest headset inspired by Xbox, teaming up with Meta. On a similar side note, Lenovo is now going with Meta Horizon OS instead of Google's Android XR platform. Companies are beginning to choose sides, as initially they teamed up with Google with Daydream. We also get the introduction of a more open app ecosystem, allowing developers who meet basic technical and content requirements to ship their software directly into the store, bypassing AppLab entirely. There is a lot of news to unpack, and before I get into each individual topic, first off, this is both unexpected and expected to me. Unexpected that Meta casually rolled this news out on a Monday with no leaks to my knowledge, with Mark Zuckerberg announcing this via IG in a Instagram reel. With dissecting the footage, no bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue was within the vicinity. And expected that now alongside Apple, Meta will now be competing directly with Google, as just about 2 months ago, Google tried to convince Meta to switch up to its upcoming Android XR platform, which Google already has Samsung on board. Meta rejected Google, and in the XR space, Meta would be that just in VR, which the deal ended up falling out because, as Meta CTO Andrew Bosworth detailed, that Google essentially was a deadbeat within the VR space while rejecting Meta's attempt to work together and bring the Play Store to Quest, potentially bringing millions of 2D apps onto the platform, as Google would make Meta agree to restrictive terms. We don't know what these terms are, but it probably has to do with corporate greed and control. If the space reflects the smartphone market, there is only space for two to compete alongside Apple. And let's be honest, Google isn't a company that is known to fully stick with projects, as their other VR platform, Daydream, was abandoned, as well as their cloud gaming service Stadia and others, and is called Killed at Google. If Meta were to team up with them, it would directly counter Apple, but now they are going their separate ways, as Meta Quest runs on Android's open source project reliant on forkovers from Google. It comes into question how the Android space will compete with Apple's offerings as they target lower price points. All this news is very strategic and long-term bets. Unlike the other companies, Meta needs this to fruition to free themselves from the duopoly. As in Zuck's leaked emails, he sees this as a strategic move for them to make even more money at the end of it all. But as of right now, all that matters is increasing its users. Nonetheless, Meta is introducing Meta Horizon OS that renames Quest's operating system, combining and installing core features and platform services like tracking and quests to be a part of this new ecosystem. It will require users to make and have Meta accounts. The mobile companion app that you use to cast your VR device to your phone, buy games, and add new users will be renamed to the Meta Horizon app. Headsets using Meta Horizon OS will also get the mobile companion app. So Horizon Worlds and Zuckerberg's idea of the metaverse will be even more deeply integrated with the devices. Meta within your app library has already made a dedicated tab alone for Horizon Worlds, which is still very much a work in progress. It's not horribly bad, but there's good memes around it. But its use case and focus on bringing social presence is still not quite there. Then we have Meta ushering in a new generation of hardware with headsets focused on specific use cases like gaming, entertainment, fitness, productivity, and social presence. Their reasoning for doing so is to allow people to tailor their devices to fit their lifestyle and preferences, while having the commonality of running Meta's Horizon OS. These partners are Asus Republic of Gamers in developing a headset tailored to an all-around performance gaming headset. Then we have Lenovo that did co-design the Oculus Rift S, bring their expertise for use cases that prioritize productivity, learning, and entertainment, as well as Xbox partnering up with Meta to bring a limited edition headset with a different color scheme to be sold with an Xbox controller alongside with it to let people play via the Xbox Game Pass on Quest to play on a large 2D screen. And hopefully down the future they pour over some games either 2D or do VR ports, or some type of injector like Prey Dog's Unreal Engine mod to inject into existing Game Pass games on the cloud. this partnership still needs time, but the potential is there as Xbox is still primarily focused on upping those Game Pass subscriptions. All of the devices will use the Snapdragon platform, and it will be great to see what can be achieved. Though compared to Meta Quest, I don't expect the other devices to have competitive price tags like Quest 2, 3, or Lite, as companies like Asus and Lenovo recoup the revenue on the hardware rather than software. And lastly, Meta is expanding its process to allow app developers to bypass AppLab and make it onto the Quest store. Though they'll have to still meet basic technical and content requirements, essentially minimizing the friction between making apps easier to find, as AppLab games required pinpoint accuracy on the search to get the result that you wanted. Another interesting thing mentioned in the blog post is that they are developing a spatial app framework that helps mobile developers create new mixed reality experiences or bring over an existing app to work without having to access a game's engine. And yeah, that sums up the blog post in its entirety, and it's pretty exciting to see more companies get involved like Asus and Lenovo, as I like and own a high-end Lenovo laptop, but I'm skeptical at the same time. But it can be argued this will enhance the landscape of VR and will bring a form of competition and allow other companies to test out to see what works and what doesn't work. Similarly to the handheld gaming market that has seen success since the launch of Steam Deck and other competitors like Aya Neo, Asus, and Lenovo, I see Quest 3 as the bare minimum and standardizing $500 sub headsets until we get more news for the eventual release of a Quest Lite and what that will be. People with extra cash on hand will be able to spend, and now you get to choose what headset you want, whether if it's a overclocked gaming headset with the best cooling, or if you want the best possible headset with high-end OLED panels to watch movies on, or a lightweight headset with fitness in mind, like mentioned in Zuck's Instagram reel. Companies can tailor specific use cases for niche markets. Meta Horizon OS will also bring existing store content on Quest to other headsets. That means your apps, games can be kept without having to purchase them on another storefront entirely. Let's not forget, there is a possibility that this ends up not working out and Meta defaults back to Quest, resulting in a similar situation like Daydream or Windows mixed reality headsets, as their fate in ending up getting discontinued. More hardware is always welcome, but I'm not sure the XR market necessarily needs more hardware, as the software still needs a lot of work, and even Apple, as jamming pack every little feature imaginable into a $3,500 headset, there is still a long way to go until these headsets become the norm for billions of people to use. As much good as Apple's headset did in solidifying this space of hardware, it showed that this space still isn't ready for the mass market appeal, and inherently it still has a lot of flaws. And even on Quest, mainly the home UI that is very limited to user customization, as you still can't hide certain apps or favorite them, as at times Quest 3's XR2 Gen 2 platform struggles to load 3 tabs open simultaneously. We need more work on the OS, whether that's bringing more games, productivity apps, use cases, or like the mainstream waiting to latch on with the idea of a killer app. Being able to use these platforms as an alternative to your computer is, in my opinion, the starting point. And hopefully with Meta supporting Meta Horizon OS, it doesn't distract them from building stuff for Quest software with supporting other platforms. And I do want to hear from you in the comment section to see how people view this, whether you think it's good or bad, and are you interested in opting out for a headset with Meta Horizon OS branding instead of the usual Meta Quest. And if you liked the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and until the next video, see ya.